Welcome, Amakhosi Network. Welcome to the channel. So, Kaizer Chiefs apparently has found a coach, and the coach they said they saying they are going to sign is this coach. Well, what media is saying, and there's a lot of speculation. And you guys, I'm sure, are asking yourself, who is Alexandre Santos, and what does he do, and what are his credentials? And I'm about to give you the lowdown, and I am going to tell you if I believe in this coach. You guys will judge me for whatever I have to say, but it's fine. I'll give you my background information, and it may not be the best research, but it's still my research. But anyway, before I get into that, please like, comment, and subscribe, and thank you for the support of the channel. But please, guys, over 80% of you are not subscribed. Please subscribe to the channel. My aim this year was to be on the road to 10K. I don't believe it's gonna happen because the subscriptions are very low. So please subscribe. But anyway, Alexandre Santos. A lot of you guys are asking, who is Santos? Who is Santoto? And I'm gonna tell you today who Santos is. I'm gonna first give you a background to him. Santos basically has been all over Mhlabeni. He's been everywhere, being an assistant coach for teams like Al Ahly, teams like, he's been everywhere. Like, I want to actually pull up a resume just to give you some of the names of the clubs he's been a part of. He's been a manager of the under-23 Sporting Lisbon. He's been SC Braga assistant manager, FC Porto assistant manager, Al Ahly assistant manager. Basically, you guys can tell he's been part of big teams, but he's never been good enough to be the actual coach of big teams. When he became a coach, he was being a coach of smaller teams, and right now the team that he's coaching now is basically his biggest club, and that's Pedro Luanda. So that one is the team in Angola. So let me give you just information about him. He's 47 years old. His average coaching term, meaning that he's always at the club for how long? He's always at the club for around 1.3 years, 1 year, 3 months, somewhere there. That's how long he's often there, meaning that he's often at a team for around a season and a half. Then he either gets fired or let go. That is his resume. So I think with Pedro Luanda, it's his longest job. At Pedro, he's been there for almost, I think now it's going over 3 years now that he's been there at Pedro Luanda. Actually, maybe over 2 years, but going to 3 years now. So yeah, that is what he has been doing at Pedro Luanda. It's his longest serving job. And yeah, at the end of the season, he's going to be leaving the job. The guy has won 2 cups in his crazy career. And he has a UEFA Pro license, which means that technically, in terms of what SAFA's requirements of a coach from overseas, they want you to have a UEFA Pro license and to have won at least 1 cup from whatever competition you're coaching. And he has done that. When I was looking, so now I'm going to give you the real stats. A lot of you guys want stats. When I was going over the stats of the clubs he was coaching, there isn't much good stats, but I will tell you what I saw. The stats of this guy. And I know a lot of you are not going to like this because this guy is one of the front people to get the Kaizer Chiefs job. But I'm going to tell you his record. His record so far is that he, for most of his career, not most, basically all of his career, he's always had a losing record. It's only now that he started coaching at Pedro Luanda that he's had a winning record. Yes, we may not have the details of the other clubs, the smaller clubs he was at. We don't have the details if he had a winning record there. But what I always say to you guys is this, that don't take lightly the information you get on someone's winning record because it should be telling you what the person is about. If this guy struggles to be a dominant coach and struggles to be a dominant coach and win and have a winning culture, because remember there was a video I did once where I showed you I put 3 coaches on the board. I put Rulani, I put Upito Musimani's career, and I put Abo Nabi. Nabi, I think, was sitting on 53% win ratio. Pito was sitting around 58% winning ratio. And then Rulani was sitting on a crazy 62 or something percent winning ratio. And I said this. I said, in order for Chiefs to get to the top, we need to get either Pito or Nabi because their career win ratios are in the positive. So chances are they will get us over the top. And you must know that Nabi's win ratio also happened to be low because of the limited amount of resources that transfer market was showing us in terms of how many games he was winning at. I think it was Young Africans. So his ratio was technically also going to be maybe around Pito's 57-58%. So that's what I'm telling you guys we're competing with. So let me give you his Petro Luanda record now. For Petro Luanda, the record he's played 51 games. He has won 28 games. He has lost 16. He has drawn 16 games and he has lost 7 games. Now, some of you guys will be like, yeah, 28 games win, it's good. 16 draws is good. 7 losses is good. And I was like, I'm going to tell you guys, with those amount of wins, I don't think you win the season at Kaizer in South Africa because that is over more than one season. And you can already tell, Guti, to win the league in South Africa, your team needs to be pushing 18 to 20 wins in that season because of what Sundowns is doing. In order for you to be competitive, you need to be pushing 18 to 20 wins in one season. This guy is pushing 28 wins in two to 3 seasons. If we divide that 28 wins by 3, it means that he's averaging about 10 wins or so per season. And obviously these stats may not be complete. I'm just using the stats that I found. So what I'm trying to tell you guys is that his win ratio is not good. Another thing I saw for me the win ratio for me was a very big red flag. The amount of teams he's coached in his career is also for me a red flag because it shows Guti he's either getting let go or people don't believe in his style of play, so he gets let go. That's why he only gets to coach like just over 1 year. So just how long he stays in a job is a red flag. The other red flag I saw is that his preferred formation that he wants to play is 4-2-3-1. I know a lot of you are going to say there's nothing wrong with 4-2-3-1. But what 4-2-3-1, what a lot of you won't realize about what 4-2-3-1 is all about and why it's not technically a good formation is that in today's football, a 4-2-3-1 shows a very defensive mindset. When you play 4-2-3-1, it's like saying you have decided to play with 6 defenders. That is what a 4-2-3-1. It means that you don't push attacking football. And that is one thing I have loved about Nabi's game, and that is one thing I've loved about Pito's game. Their emphasis on attack is so big that they would rather concede 2 goals but win 5-2. That is how their mentality is. Yes, they still buy the players to shut the back door, but they need goals in the net. That is their main thing. And this guy, it seems like he's more on the defensive. Yes, like I said, you must take the stats that I'm giving with a pinch of salt because it's difficult to get all stats and all data for us to give them like a very detailed and very direct. I'm just using overview stuff right now. So another thing I haven't looked at is how his team plays because I don't have much view of how Petro Luanda plays, So I know people, the thing about South Africa that annoys me is that when a team does well against like a Sundowns in Champions League, or a team does well against like Pirates, or a team does well against like Al Ahly at a group stage or whatever, people tend to think that team is good. I've been listening to about Andile Ngobe, and because the one team that I think it was the Tanzanian team held Sundowns basically to 0-0 draws by Miguel Gamondi. I listened to about Andile Ngube now come and tell us that Cheese must hire Miguel Gamondi because he wants coach Black Leopards, and that now he held Sundowns to a 0-0 draw, etc. And then I'm like, guys, do you understand that A nil-nil draw does not necessarily mean that that team plays well against Sundowns, etc. Sometimes it can just mean that Sundowns missed a lot of chances. So my thing is that when people rate a team just because it had good performances against one specific team, and then they now think that this coach is good because he held Sundowns. That is not how you judge a coach. You judge a coach by how dominant he is in his league and how much he's killing opposition and how his play looks. Like, how does he play? How is his team playing? Because if we go to Miguel Gamondi as an example against Sundowns, did we not all see that this guy was scared of playing Sundowns openly? He was playing Sundowns with a low block and he was defending. And what he did in his preparation is that he used Uaziski and a lot of his attackers who had pace to attack Sundowns on counters. And that is how they beat Sundowns. But my thing is that if he changed his style of play, I'm sure every day when they're in Tanzania, that is not how they play. But because they played Sundowns and they chose to now only play low block, for me, things like that make me worry that the philosophy that he has is not strong enough to go and play Sundowns the way he plays the rest of the league. Meaning that he decided to abandon his philosophy and just play Sundowns, just defend against Sundowns. And I know a lot of you will be like, yeah, but Real Madrid also does that in Champions League, etc., etc. I'm like, no. What you guys don't realize about teams like Real Madrid is that teams like Real Madrid have always played like counter football, etc. They've never been possession-based teams. They've always been quality attack, and counter-attack, etc. That's why people like Cristiano Ronaldo, Bale, Benzema always scored goals 3 against 1, 2 against 1, etc., etc. Because they would absorb pressure and then hit counters. They would never often dominate possession like Barcelona, etc. It was never their game. But anyway, to conclude on the Alexandre Santos, my opinion of him, and this is an opinion that is just based on the information I've received on him, is that I would not hire him as a Kaizer Chiefs coach. I don't think he's good enough for where we want to be. And where we want to be is that we want to beat Sundowns. We want to get a Champions League star. We want to dominate Africa. We want to dominate actually the PSL. We're tired of people laughing at us in the PSL. We want to dominate the PSL so bad that we win 30 games out of 30. We win every cup from MTN to Nedbank to Carling Cup. I want us to stamp on their heads. Everyone, we must beat them bonk. And bonk is bashang at 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 goals. That is what I want. And with that, we need a very dominant coach. What do you guys think? Siyabashaya na. Hai, siyabasibashayi, siyabatumba.